Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. Welcome back. We made it to 2021, my friends. Our first video of the year. Tommy D along with Johnny Lowe. We appreciate you taking the time out to come along and join us. We're talking the Derby, Johnny. Welcome back, my friend.
Man, it's good to be back. I took a little break after the Breeders' Cup. Authentic surprised us a little bit. You know, he ran huge in the Derby. He ran huge in the Breeders' Cup. Good for them. We're going to try to get back on the winning track this year and get our Derby winner again.
Yeah, these videos are going to be on the Derby trail, so stay tuned. We're going to be looking at some of the big races, talking about some of the information that's going on out there, and, talking the Derby, Kentucky Derby, Johnny. Last year was one weird year, 2020. This year, we had obstacles. It was later in the year. We had races canceled, a lot of COVID action. This year, it's totally different, my friend. What's the obstacle we're looking at this year, 2021?
Yeah, so last year, in horse racing as a handicapper, something that people really base their picks off of is recent past performances, recent past history. Last year with the Derby in September, we've never had a Derby in September in the history of horse racing. So there was no past history of Derbies in September. To make your pick, you had to adjust on the fly. Obviously, we had a horse that was 3 to 5 that ran second. This year, we have something that we haven't had in a long time. It's going to be a Lasix-free Derby, which is really incredible to think about. It's been so long. The last time we've seen anything like this was the Belmont, because in New York, they used to have Lasix were banned. So the first two races would be Lasix run races, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and then the third leg was no Lasix. We ended up with no Triple Crown winners. So that ends up telling me that Lasix is a big deal. The Pegasus World Cup, 2 years ago, they were going to offer a 7-pound weight advantage if you didn't use Lasix. 0 people bid on that. Obviously, Lasix are a big deal. This year, the road to the Kentucky Derby with the no Lasix in the Derby, the points races that are going to the Derby, if your horse runs on Lasix in one of those point races, you don't get any points if you win. Senor Buscador won the Remington Park Springboard Mile. He's not getting any points for the Kentucky Derby, so those points are lost. He was on Lasix. So, I mean, it's pretty much, let's say you have a horse that's debut, he runs on Lasix, wins by 10 lengths, you decide, hey, we're going to put him on the Kentucky Derby trail. How do the gamblers bet him the next time? Let's say he runs in the, Florida Derby. I mean, what do we do? Is he going to run? Is he not going to run? This is just crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, Johnny, I agree. Trainers, rely on using Lasix. They've been used to using them. That's part of their regiment. So, my question to you is, like, handicapping. How are we looking at this? Is it going to be strong on the pedigree? How are you looking at, and how are we going to handicap this moving forward on the Derby trail?
Well, it's just so interesting because how does it change the pedigree? Is it going to change the results of how the pedigrees are going to work in the Kentucky Derby? For example, in Europe, they don't have a whole lot of Mr. Prospector line stallions. All their stallions are the Northern Dancer lines through Sadler's Wells. You've got Danehill Dancer. You've got Frankel Galileo. Are those horses going to be the ones that don't bleed as much? Or the reason why those horses are so good is because they've got all that stamina? Do the Lasix help the speed horses get around the track? We just don't know. I mean, is it going to change? Is Tappet going to finally have a horse win the race like Essential Quality, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile? He had Hansen win the Juvenile before. The horse didn't do so well in the Derby. He's over, I think, 11 or 12 at this point in the Derby. Is this a year without Lasix that puts his horses in the advantage with that Bold Ruler bloodline? We don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's just so many questions.
Yeah, that's great, Johnny. Looking at it, I think it's actually another thing you have to add to the handicapper packet there. A lot of things when you're looking at these races, but this is something that we're unheard of, for us, as handicappers recently trying to dial this in on the Derby trail. So, Johnny, we're looking at this Derby races, and, first big race, we're going to have one at the fairgrounds, and that's the Lecomte. That's going to be this weekend on Saturday. This is for 3-year-olds. This is one of the first big races. You're kind of going to start to see how it plays out. How are we looking at this Lasix thing in this race, and who do you like?
This is just a huge microcosm of what's going to happen this year. So 2-year-olds in certain states weren't allowed to use Lasix. 2-year-olds such as Game Day Play, the 6-horse, he's been using Lasix the entire time. He ran in Texas a couple times, in Oklahoma, and they could use Lasix. This is going to be his first race with no Lasix. We don't know what's going to happen. There's another horse, Regular Guy. First 3 races, he didn't win. 4th race, he ran at the fairgrounds. They put him on Lasix. Boom, he won. What's going to happen here? We've got a couple horses that have never ran on Lasix. Beep Beep, he won his debut by 3.5, no Lasix. Arabian Prince, he's ran a mile and 16 twice at Churchill Downs, no Lasix. We kind of can guess what they're going to do, but what are the other horses that have been using Lasix? Is it going to be something that boosts those horses up? People don't exactly know what Lasix do. They can't tell you how they work exactly. We've got opinions and guesses, but if you really want to break the science down, we truly don't know what the Lasix actually do. Some people say they mimic steroids as far as getting horses ready for the race. We do know they reduce the bleeding, and we understand how the pressure and everything works in the lungs and all that, but we don't know all the side effects of the Lasix, good, bad, or indifferent. So for that, are the horses that run their first few races on Lasix, they get off the Lasix, are they going to have an advantage from running on Lasix for a few months? Or is it going to be a disadvantage, like a bodybuilder getting off of steroids? I don't know. I don't think we have a big enough sample size at this point to really narrow that down. So for this Lecomte race, how do you even sit down and handicap the race?
I mean, I agree with you. You know, we got to try to find a way to look at it and have some kind of edge with this Lasix. Maybe we look at the first couple races and see how they play out. I'm not quite sure, Johnny, but like you said, this is a unknown territory for a lot of handicappers, and we're going to try to figure it out. Taking a look at the Lecomte, I mean, let's take a look at it. I know it might be hard to find out, Lasix-wise, but who do you like in this race?
So I look at this race. It's a mile and a 16th. These are some sharp turns at the fairgrounds. I think I'm going to... Usually there's a certain type of pedigree I look for. I don't see any of the horses that have that in here as far as going down the road for the Kentucky Derby. And I don't think we should expect too much out of the Lecomte. There's never been a Kentucky Derby winner come out of the Lecomte race. Some nice horses, but never a Kentucky Derby winner. So with that being said, I'm going to try to hit the horse that I think can get the mile and 16th with the 2 sharp turns. Obviously, the Brad Cox horse, Mandaloun, he was favored his first 2 races. The horse has won fairly easy. He's by Into Mischief. He's out of an Empire Maker. He's got really good breeding for the mile and 16th. And he's going to come from a little bit off the pace. I think obviously 3-1. That's a pretty good price. He's got a fair shot. Manor House at 8-1 by Upstart, who's by Flatter, which is the AP Indy line, which is kind of trickles down to the same line Tappet would be. He's out of a Dixie Union mare. Dixie Union line has produced on the broodmare side 2 Kentucky Derby winners, so it's a really good stamina line on bottom. He won by 12.5 his first race out the gate, going 2-turn mile at Laurel. So I think there's a chance that horse he might show up here. And I think the other horse that I'm looking at is Arabian Prince. Arabian Prince is by Mishawish, who is by Medaglia d'Oro. He's by El Prado. That's that stamina line that you'd see more in Europe. I'm going to give the horse a shot. He won his debut going a mile on the slop. And then he came back and ran a couple of tough mile and 16th races. But at 6-1 for Dallas Stewart, I think he might have the class edge in here against these other horses.
Yeah, Johnny, I think it's a nice little race, and I like the Stidham horse you talked about, Manor House, myself. I'm looking at both Stidham horses. Michael Stidham doing a nice job training. I'm looking at number 4, Proxy, at 6-1, Johnny, and I'm taking a play out of your book. I'm looking at the Dam Panty Raid here. This is a monster one, multiple grade 1s, going the distance here, won 2 starts in a row. Like you said, the Lasix thing could be a factor, maybe something you want to watch out for, but 6-1, that's my choice at 4-1. I also liked Mandaloun, like you said, and Manor House. The other one I might throw in there at a bomb is number 3, Beep Beep, 12-1. Norm Cassie, I'm looking at the connections, the owner, Mary Lou Whitney, breeder, owner there, strong, stable. I might throw in there at a price, especially because it won with no Lasix, Johnny. So, something to pay attention moving forward. I think it's a jump up here. This is a grade 3 going a mile and 16th for 3-year-olds at the fairgrounds. Anything you want to add to the race there, Johnny?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good measuring stick of what's really going on out there. We obviously with the race in Remington Park, the Springboard Mile, the horse that was on Lasix won the race, so we lost the Kentucky Derby points. This race, all the horses are going to be Lasix free. whoever wins is going to get the Derby points. But are we going to see horses that were on Lasix run better than the horses that haven't been running on Lasix? Are the horses that haven't been running on Lasix the whole time going to beat the horses that are making the change this time out? We've started to see some races where the stakes races for older horses around the country are going Lasix free as well. And it's really getting to the point where what's going to happen. I think the curiosity hopefully doesn't kill the bank at this point when we handicap these races. But as the year goes forward, I think I'm going to really focus my pedigree analysis towards who's winning these races and what's going on pedigree-wise, because we could see a shift. Every so often they come out with a new drug or a new training thing or whatever, and I do believe that it has an effect on who you're going to breed to. Some horses might take to it better than other horses. Maybe it favors speed, maybe it favors stamina. We just don't know. And I think in today's game where speed is so dangerous, taking the Lasix away, do those faster horses bleed more? I don't know,
I guess time will tell, Johnny. Some great points there. I mean, I would tread lightly. I guess what you're saying is maybe tread lightly and see what pedigrees are winning on the no Lasix and move forward on that. Maybe is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and another thing too is let's say you had a horse in Europe and it was you thought it was a good horse, but it was a bleeder, and you send it over here for these big turf races. Are we going to keep getting those horses from Europe that are going to run those stakes races because it's going to be Lasix free now? I mean, it's
might hurt a little bit.
It's a big change in the game. Whether it's good or bad, I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that uses Lasix. So we're catching up to the world standards. At the same time, it's a curveball for the horsemen, and it's an interesting change. All of a sudden, the horses that are 3 years old, you can use Lasix. When they were 2, you couldn't use Lasix, and you see these allowance races and such with the 3-year-olds, and all of a sudden every single one of them's on Lasix. Yep. But I don't know. And as far as ranking my horses for the Derby Trail, if the trainer starts the horse with Lasix first time, does that mean he doesn't have faith the horse is going to make it to the Derby or not? I mean, where do we pay attention? Where do we start? A lot of feedback in the comment section here would be
let us know what you think,
more than
everybody.
Appreciated.
Yeah, we love your insight. We know you got a lot of solid horse racing fans on this channel, so we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think about the Lasix situation and who you like in the Lecomte coming up here. But talking about the Derby Trail, Johnny, this is the big first race at the fairgrounds. You get 10, 4, 2, and 1 point wise. A couple other races following. You got the Smarty Jones, the Robert B. Lewis, the Holy Bull, the Withers, the Sam F. Davis, the El Camino Real Derby, and then it comes to the big points. You get the Risen Star, 50, 20, 10, and 5. That's going to be on February 13th, so we're not too far away from that, followed by the Fountain of Youth on the 27th. And then, talking about the big races, the 100-point races starts March 20th. The first one is the Louisiana Derby. So by then, Johnny, hopefully we'll have a little bit idea about the Lasix, a little bit more. But some big races coming up here. Johnny, I know that you're a couple big fans of horses that won the Juvenile and then won the Derby. Could you name one of them?
I'm going to say Nyquist did both.
I know you. I knew you love Nyquist. And Street Sense is the other one. Write down in the comments if you can name any more, guys. We're trying to figure it out. So if they won the Breeders' Cup, Juvenile, and the Kentucky Derby, write in the comments. We got Street Sense and we got Nyquist so far. You got anybody else?
Nobody else did.
All right. Hey, throw it on down there. Let us know, guys. Anything else you want to add to the mix here? We're making these videos following the Derby Trail 2021, guys. We're here for you on the Hip Horse. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow us, ring the bell for notifications. We're going to be putting out a lot more horse racing content the closer we get to the Kentucky Derby. Also, you see this awesome shirt? The Hip Horse is on Etsy and Shopify. Check it out. The link will be down below. Please go on. Support me. Support us. Johnny, Rooster Coup shirt will be up there very soon, too. You can pick up some Hip Horse gear, friends. We appreciate you. Johnny, what else? What else can we say before we get out of here?
Well, we're just going to follow along that Derby Trail and stay tuned because we're going to keep making these videos and we're going to keep up to date with what's going on out there, and hopefully we'll be your source of information as you head down the Derby Trail,
There we go, guys. You
Tell a
heard
friend.
It. Yeah, hey, please share the video. The Hip Horse here on YouTube. Johnny Lowe, Tommy D. We appreciate you, friends. Thanks, and stay tuned for more Derby talk. Talk Derby to me, baby. See you next time.